All right, let's talk about the future. Will, shall, or going to? Man, if you've ever found yourself pausing, wondering which one to use, you are definitely not alone. It can be super tricky. But what if I told you there's a really simple way to get it right, like every single time? Let's dive in and break it down.
So, really, what is the deal with will, shall, and going to? On the surface, they all seem to do the same job, right? Talking about what's next. But, well, not quite. As we're about to see, just swapping one for another can totally change the vibe, the meaning, everything about your sentence.
Okay, check this out. I blank call you later. So simple, right? But what do you put in that blank? Will, shall, am going to? Technically, they all fit, but the context is everything. We're going to figure out not just which one to use, but the why behind it. And here's the secret. It's all about thinking of them not as boring grammar words, but as characters with personalities.
And that's the key right there. So for a second, I want you to just forget all the grammar rules you've memorized. The absolute easiest way to get a handle on these is to imagine they're three totally different people, each with their own unique personality.
Okay, first up, let's meet Will. Think of Will as the spontaneous one, the impulsive friend. Will makes decisions on the spot, right in the heat of the moment. It's all about gut feelings, sudden offers, and making predictions based on just a personal opinion, not any real proof.
Now let's meet Going To, who is the complete and total opposite of Will. This is our planner, the one with the checklist. Going To has already thought things through. The decision was made way before the conversation even started. And when Going To makes a prediction, you can bet it's because there's some clear, solid evidence staring you right in the face. And last but not least, we have Shal. Now, Shal is our formal commander. This character is a little old-fashioned, a bit stiff, maybe, but it carries some serious weight. You pull this one out for powerful commands, super polite suggestions, or for those moments of just unbreakable, ironclad determination.
Okay, so we've met our cast of characters. Now let's see how they actually behave out in the wild. We're going to do a super quick look at the basic grammar, get the boring stuff out of the way, and then we'll jump right back into the fun part. So here's what they look like in a sentence. For will and shall, it's super easy. You just pop them right before the verb. I will call, I shall call. Done. For going to, you just got to remember to use the verb to be, like I am going to call or you are going to call. And that's it. Okay, Grammar 101 is officially over. Let's get back to those personalities. So when does our spontaneous friend Will show up? Think about it. The phone rings, and without thinking, you shout, I'll get it. That's pure will. You're making a promise on the spot or offering to help someone with their bags. That's will talking. Even just sharing a casual opinion like, I think this movie will be good. Yep, that's a perfect job for Will. And what about our planner going to? Well, this is for your intentions, the stuff you've already decided to do. When you say, I'm going to visit my grandparents, that tells me you've already made the plan. And here's the big one for predictions. If you look outside and see these huge, dark, angry clouds rolling in, you have evidence. You don't just think it will rain, you say, whoa, it's going to rain. Okay, and what about shall, our formal commander? Honestly, you're not going to hear this one a whole lot in everyday chat. But in the right setting, oh, it's powerful. You'll see it in legal documents, in really polite, almost old-world offers like, shall we dance? And in those epic moments of absolute determination. And I mean, come on, this quote just perfectly captures the power of shall. When Gandalf roars, you shall not pass, he's not making a suggestion, is he? He's laying down an unbreakable, absolute command. You can feel the weight, the formality, the sheer force of it. You will not pass. It just doesn't have that same punch, does it? Not even close. All right, here we go. This is the main event. This is where most of the confusion really happens for people. So let's put our two most common future words, will and going to, head to head. We're going to really nail down the difference once and for all. Okay, round one, decisions. On the left, the phone starts ringing and you decide to answer it right now, in that instant. That's pure spontaneous will. But on the right, I'm going to call her tonight. See the difference? That's a plan. The decision was made before you ever opened your mouth. And this exact same logic works perfectly for predictions. I think it will snow tomorrow. That's just your opinion, right? It's a gut feeling, no proof. But when you look out the window and see a sky that just screams blizzard, you've got your evidence. Now you can say with confidence, look at that, it's going to snow.
So really, it all boils down to this one single, simple question. Anytime you're stuck between will and going to, just ask yourself this. Was this idea born before I spoke? Or am I thinking of it right now in this moment? That one question, that's the key to everything. Before or at the moment of speaking. That's it.
Okay, so now that we've broken down all the pieces and met all the characters, let's put it all together into a simple, practical framework you can use anytime you're talking about the future. Here it is, your decision guide. It's super simple. First, assess the formality. Is this a really serious, legal, or powerful statement? If yes, think about using shall. If not, move to step 2. Check for a plan. Did you decide this before now? Or step 3, look for evidence. Is your prediction based on something you can see or hear? If the answer is yes to a plan or evidence, you're going to use going to. And if it's none of the above, if it's just a spontaneous thought, a promise, an offer, or an opinion, that's your cue to use will. See? Simple as that. And, why does any of this even matter? Because choosing the right word isn't just about passing a grammar test. It's about being precise. It makes your communication so much clearer, more intentional, and, more powerful. You're not just throwing words out there. You're actually conveying exactly what you mean. So there you have it. You're now totally equipped to talk about the future, not just correctly, but with real intention. Every single choice, will, shall, or going to, shapes the meaning of what you say. So the only question left is, how will you shape your future? Or maybe I should ask, how are you going to? Because now you know the difference.